Barry, just let me clarify. We're on section 22. We're dealing with amendment number 28,
28
and
apologies.
32. And 32 has been spoken to by Deputy Farrell, and 28 is in your name.
Yes, apologies. Yeah, so we want a report. I mean, we want to see our data centres benefiting and how much additional revenue will we raise from excluding them from these accelerated capital allowances. And obviously that is in the context of our wider belief that it runs completely counter to our climate objectives for the government to continue to facilitate the construction of data centres, which are going to suck up absolutely enormous amounts of energy from the grid. Estimates vary, you know, from what, 30%, potentially even talk of it going up to much higher proportions of energy from the grid being eaten up by these data centres, which have enormous CO2 emissions, and we don't think they should gain from these allowances. They shouldn't be encouraged or incentivised in any way. In fact, we want to see a prohibition on the further construction of these data centres because of the damage they are doing to the environment. So that's the context in which we're proposing this, and that the Minister would look at reporting on the cost of, or the benefit, if you like, revenue-wise, of excluding them from the accelerated capital allowances in section 21.
Thank you, Deputy Boyd Barrett. Minister to respond.
Thank you, Taoiseach. A business may claim capital allowances on capital expenditure it incurs on certain types of business assets. Section 284 of the Tax Consolidation Act of 1997 provides for capital allowances for wear and tear of plant and machinery to be taken as a deduction for tax purposes. In general, such capital allowances are claimed at a rate of 12.5% annually over 8 years. Data centres are treated in the same manner as any other business. They may claim capital allowances on expenditure incurred on qualifying plant and machinery where it is acquired and used for the purposes of the trade. There is no special scheme applicable, and for that reason, I'm advised by Revenue that capital allowance claims for data centres are not separately identifiable on Revenue records. Furthermore, while the plant and machinery in data centres may qualify for capital allowances, Revenue advised me that a building which houses a data centre is not an industrial building within the meaning of Section 268 of the Taxes Consolidation Act, and therefore the building itself does not qualify for industrial building capital allowances. With regard to the accelerated capital allowance scheme for energy efficient equipment, this allows taxpayers to deduct the full cost of expenditure on eligible equipment from taxable profits in the year of purchase in place of the normal 8-year time frame where they invest in highly energy efficient equipment. The developments described by the deputies are not automatically entitled to accelerated capital allowances in their own right. However, where they purchase equipment included on the SCI's Energy Efficient Equipment Register, they are entitled to claim accelerated capital allowances on that particular piece of equipment, just as any other Irish company or sole trader is so entitled. As the treatment of capital allowances with respect to capital expenditure incurred by data centres is the standard treatment applicable to all businesses, I don't believe a report is warranted, and to be very specific, the data in relation to the issue the deputies are raising with me is not available to me. Similarly, as the accelerated capital allowance scheme for energy efficient equipment was only reviewed last year, I don't believe that at this point we should do a further review of the scheme. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister. Do the member wish to respond?
Well, only to say, I mean, obviously our intent is to completely discourage the further construction of data centres. And if I understand the Minister correctly, while there's not they don't benefit specifically because they are data centres. They can benefit as data centres in terms of the equipment that they purchase to establish those data centres. That's pretty much what I think you're saying. And you don't know the extent to which they are benefiting from this relief. So we want to look at trying to prevent the further construction of these and do everything we can to discourage their further construction because of the impact on the climate and on the energy grid. So that's the reason we're doing it. I suspect the Minister doesn't agree with our objective, but that's
Thanks,
the
Deputy
reason
Boyd
we're
Barrett.